Upon conception begins life, nurtured, protected until birth, continues life. Born into a world unknown, a journey of life. My name is Dodi Spurgeon. I am retired from one of the leading manufacturers here in Greenville, South Carolina.
My name is Alton Spurgeon. Retired as well.
My position was a facilitator/planner.
I was a manager in manufacturing, had responsibility for several hundred people.
I took early retirement. While Al was working, I was able to sleep late and did crafts. I enjoy making soap and lotion, stain remover, and different things.
When I first retired, I started an organic farm, which was one of the very few in Greenville at the time. We would take our produce to the Greenville market downtown.
We do a lot of vegetables for our family. All of our children are working, and we'll can and freeze vegetables for them.
And we enjoy things like being outside, taking walks, going fishing.
And we have days when we say, well, we got to work in the yard or do housework. And once that's done, we're free to fish a little bit more. That's it.
I catch the most fish, though.
Growing up in the South, there were many challenges because we grew up during the Jim Crow era. Schools were segregated. You couldn't ride on the front of the bus. You could not eat at certain restaurants, or any restaurants really.
And we would walk to school, and regardless of the weather, raining or snow,
we had to walk 5 miles from where we lived. We had to walk in the opposite direction to get back around to school, because if we had walked through the white neighborhoods, and they would throw rocks at us until they ran us out of their neighborhood.
On the way to school and back, we see these beautiful yellow school buses passing us by with all of the white kids, and they would open the window and hurl profanities at us, and would often throw things out the window at us. And that was over 65 years ago. But the memories of those things day after day are still very vivid in my mind. And one of the things that I learned from that would I never ever treat anyone the way we were treated just because of their race or for any other reason in the world.
The one thing that really was a problem was that there were no good jobs, and we had to take jobs like domestic work or cleaning jobs, and that was about it.
I harbored those feelings for a long time, but thankfully it didn't make me hate, but it made me more determined.
Many times, people would call you names and say you wouldn't be amount to anything, but there was always some old person in the community who could tell you to never pay any attention to what someone say or call you. You keep your focus, educate yourself, set your goals, give it your best shot, and that you would succeed.
Those ideas and concepts instill within me. I have never met a person, regardless of his color or race or his education, that made me feel inferior.
All of these things are collections from Africa. And you notice the woodwork, how they cut it, carved that in? Yeah, these are from China. I never expected to ever see another part of the world, but the unthinkable happened.
In my professional life, Dodi and I traveled all over the world. We lived in Nigeria for 2 years. We lived in China for 1 year. We spent a lot of time in Canada, in France, in the UK.
When we got to Nigeria, it was a real culture shock.
There were conflicts on a weekly basis, and some days we were not able to go to work because of the ethnic conflict. And one of the biggest things was that there was a conflict between the Christians and the Muslims. And we saw remnants of fighting where people sadly had been burned in the streets. Very disheartening, very hurtful.
But we had decided that we were going to make the best of this trip. We found a church there. We began to making friends. If we had an opportunity to help someone along the way, that we would help whoever we could help in whatever way that we needed to help them in.
Oh, we love China. It was one of the most memorable things that we've ever done. We were building a new plant in Shenyang. I was the assistant plant manager, and it was just like being home. The food was absolutely sensational.
I enjoyed going to market while Elle worked, just talking to people, and I met so many young people. They love to talk to Americans. And I also worked in the orphanage. It was just so rewarding.
We would meet people that had never seen black folks before.
We went to one of the villages way up in the mountains, and it was really funny. I mean, they were nice and they were kind, but they'd come out and they'd rub your skin to see if it would rub off, the color would rub off, and they tried to talk to us.
And they could not understand how, coming from the same country, we could be black, and some of our friends with us, they were white.
I can tell you the Chinese were really, really good people.
Very.
And they don't want to hand out. They're hard workers.
People are people. And the way I feel about a person in my heart has nothing to do with who he is, what color they are, or where they come from. The pandemic didn't really affect either of us, other than we missed the get-togethers with our families.
The only thing that we haven't been able to do was to go out and eat, go to the grocery stores and things of that nature.
We missed our church family because she couldn't go to physical church. We had virtual service. And our hope comes from above. We are believers. We make a concerted effort to treat everyone the way we want to be treated.
We just try to live our lives and help people wherever we can.
In all things we do, be respectful so that people can see the way we live our lives and be glorified.
Born into a world unknown, a journey of life. For one moment or years, the way of life. Between war and peace, struggles life. Destruction, sickness, or disease flees life. A place unknown to man, eternal life.